Am I the idiot for flying 1,000 miles to visit a girl then getting pissed when I was a third wheel? I've been friends with this girl for a year. We started flirting and chatting a lot more a few months ago, so I decided to fly over here to visit her and see if we're compatible in person. We are 1k miles apart, which is a few hours in a plane. I thought we both genuinely really like each other, which is why I came. I wouldn't fly this distance for just anyone, and she told me she wanted me to come. I arrived 3 days ago, and at the actual airport she tells me another guy has also come to see her even though she didn't want him to. He's also from another country and flew roughly the same distance to get here. I was confused, cause I don't understand why he flew here if she told him she didn't want him to. Like, no guy is that stupid as to get on a plane for some random girl. She said it's because he just wanted to travel and picked her country. So I've been staying at her house, and this other guy got a hotel. So the first day we drove him to his hotel, and it was just so awkward. You could tell neither of us wanted to be there anymore, and you can definitely tell we had no idea the other existed. That night we went out for drinks and he came along, despite telling me she didn't want him there. I'm only here for a week, and for the past 2 days the three of us have spent the days together, and it's so freaking awkward. I really like this girl and I want alone time with her. So today I told her I don't want to see him again, that this trip was meant to be just for us, and I'm feeling very awkward having another guy around who obviously wants to get in her pants. It's frustrating. She told me we're not exclusive, they're just friends like us, and she doesn't want to leave him alone all day. She specifically said her and I are just friends, so I can't get angry. She left me alone in her own house and went to his hotel for a few hours and came back literally half an hour ago. I don't know what they did. They could have had sex for all I know, saying now we could go out for dinner and drinks, just us. She had no problem telling me she stayed at his hotel and hung out with him there playing on her Switch. So clearly she 100% believes we're not exclusive and told me to chill the frick out or she couldn't be with me because I'm too overbearing already. I'm not trying to be, but this is a shitty situation, and in my eyes we were being flirty AF, and I didn't know there was another guy coming. Like, why couldn't she just pick another week for him to come? Am I seriously an idiot in this situation? For being a bit too full on and overbearing? I don't think I am, but because of what she told me I just want an outsider's opinion, and this sub has helped me before. Update. I got home a few days ago and wanted to give everyone an update. The rest of the week was pretty much the three of us again, except for one other night where we were alone. So essentially in a week we only had 2 nights out together. I slept in her house, so we spent nights alone anyway, but I mean going out alone without a third wheel. I decided to do what a lot of you were suggesting, and I confronted the other guy about WTF was going on. I guess something didn't feel right, and my gut was telling me I should probably talk to him because I felt she was lying. So I went out on a walk to the shops and ended up at the guy's hotel and room. Straight up asked him what's going on. It was incredibly awkward, but we ended up having a good conversation about her, and he basically was told the same as I was. Except she lied and said I purposely told her I couldn't afford a room and she had to offer me her place. This isn't true. She offered me her place from the get-go, and I never insinuated I wouldn't get a hotel room. She told him she liked him, was incredibly flirtatious with him too, and they actually took it much farther than we did. They had a lot of phone sex. He had her nudes. He didn't show me out of respect for her, and they cammed a lot. A lot more than she did with me. I felt heartbroken, still do, but I'm feeling better. On this trip alone they actually had sex when she was at his room. He confirmed it with a text she sent him when she left to go out with me. He does really like her. I'm not sure if she likes him back, but she did sleep with him, so maybe. She never did strike me as that type of person, yet here we are. I told him he could have her. So yeah, in essence, she lied a lot. She told me she really liked me, and told him she doesn't like me at all. Was incredibly flirty with both of us and led us both on. She told him she didn't want me at her house, yet totally invited me to stay there. She told me she didn't like him, he's just a friend visiting. But then turns out she's had a sexual relationship with him for months, and they even slept together while I was also there. It's poop. You're an idiot. It was pretty obvious, man. The second there was another guy there, I would have questioned him, then left immediately. You live and you learn. But this lady sounds like a real piece of work. Not an idiot. Dude, you're not stupid. Really. You wanted to assume the best about people, and that's a reflection of who you are as a person, that this is something you'd never imagine doing to someone else. It bit you in the ass this time, but in the long run, this trait will serve you well. Now, for the next story. Am I an idiot for telling my mom that she's the cause of all my brother's problems? I, female 33, have a sister, female 30, and a little brother, 17M. My mom, single mother, our parents divorced while she was pregnant with my brother, was a wonderful mother to both me and my sister. However, she switched up incredibly while raising my brother, so much to the point that I offered to raise my brother instead. So my brother, who is now a junior in high school, has self-esteem issues, especially related to how he looks, weighs. He was a chubby baby, and my mom used to say negative things to him all the time, which I guess kind of ruined his self-esteem. My sister and I always called him cute, handsome, etc., but obviously our mother's words had a bigger effect on him. To put it in perspective for you guys, he is 61. Underweight, objectively a good-looking kid, yet still finds himself ugly and, or fat. I, a 58 woman, weigh more than him and am at a healthy weight. Anyways, despite everything, he's still a cheerful and talkative kid who really does love our mother, and this makes me 10x angrier. Now on to the problem. I made a mess in the kitchen yesterday while doing a little baking and accidentally fell asleep on the couch due to exhaustion and forgot to clean up. My mom saw the mess and started screaming at my brother, and my brother said that he'd clean it up and that he was sorry. He basically admitted to doing something he didn't do, and when I found out, I immediately told my mom it was my fault, but she said that it was fine. I asked her to apologize to him, but she said that he was a man and that she doesn't need to. I got mad and told her that if she kept this up then her son would end up doing something drastic. She said that she wasn't doing anything, and I said something along the lines of, seriously, you're literally the cause of all his problems. I also called her a terrible mother. She got mad. She said, I didn't go through all this poop for my own daughter to take a boy's side of her own mother's. She made a lot of gender-based comments like, you're a girl, you should take my side, and he's a boy, he deserves it, etc. Then she went to her room and slept. Honestly, I'm just confused now. Also, while I don't regret standing up for my brother, I feel like maybe I shouldn't have blamed her for all his issues since it's a pretty big accusation, and she's obviously hurt. I'm thinking I should have been more mature. Plus, she wasn't a bad mother to me or my sister, so maybe that was uncalled for too. But yeah, am I the idiot for blaming my mother for all of my brother's problems? Update. First off, I'd like to say that after reading your replies, I think the reason why mom is horrible towards my brother is a mix of him looking like my dad and him being a boy. But I don't know for sure. Now for the update. A bit after I made the post, I went to talk to my brother who was in his room. He was fine, but when I asked him to tell me how he felt about, well, everything, he broke down. My heart broke into a million pieces. At that moment I knew that he couldn't stay with our mother anymore. So, I called my boyfriend of 5 years and asked him if my brother and I could move in for a bit. He has the space and my brother gets along with him, so he agreed. My mom didn't give a poop. She didn't even say goodbye to him. She asked me if I could stay but completely ignored my brother's presence. I tried my hardest to stay calm and not shout at her for it, but the way she was acting was so mean. According to my sister, my mother still makes mean comments about my brother even though he's not there, so staying calm is really hard right now. Anyways, I called my dad as well and basically told him everything. He was a bit angry at first because nobody told him this before, and he wouldn't have left any of us in a different country had he known. But he calmed down and talked to my brother for like over an hour, and by the time he hung up, my brother had tears of joy and relief in his eyes. It's still unclear whether my dad will be visiting or if my brother will be moving or how we're going to proceed from now on due to you know what, but I can assure you that my mother won't be able to say anything to my brother again. Unfortunately, I am unable to put my brother into therapy because I don't have a lot of money on me, but I will try and talk to one of my friends who is pretty knowledgeable in the mental health department and see if I can help my brother. You're an idiot. When someone is as far gone as your mother, they need help. And granted, she is older, so she's harder to fix, but that doesn't mean kick her to the curb. I sympathize with both your mother and your brother. Everything happens for a reason. Not an idiot. I wish I could just reach out and hug you, your brother, and your boyfriend. You are so amazing to get your brother out of such a toxic environment. And like others have said, if you are in the USA, please look into assistance for your brother. He needs the help so he knows what an amazing person he is and how none of this was ever his fault. You guys are amazing. Is the mom a worthless piece of trash? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for quietly packing my stuff and leaving my family's house without telling anyone after my dad threatened to kick me out? I, female 23, live at home. I am in grad school and work part-time plus intern at an office. I graduate in June and I've been applying to jobs as much as I can so I can finally move out. My sister, female 20, also lives at home but is doing school online and doesn't work. I try to help with chores around the house as much as possible, although it's difficult since I leave the house early in the morning and come home late at night. Last week, I came home and there were clean dishes in the dishwasher. I said I'm gonna take a quick shower then empty the dishwasher, and my dad went on a rant about how I'm useless and never help around the house and that my sister is always the one doing everything. I explained that I do help and that just because they haven't seen me help doesn't mean that I don't. He asked me to give him an example and I told him that I took the garbage out the night before. The conversation escalated to him saying that I should shut up and not argue any longer because he can easily make me homeless if he wanted to. I said okay and went upstairs. The next morning while everyone was still asleep I packed my things and left, and I've been sleeping in my car for a week and taking showers at my gym. Later in the day after I left, my parents called and my mom texted me asking where I am when I didn't come home when I was supposed to. I didn't reply and blocked my entire family's numbers and social medias and haven't spoken to them since. They have been calling and texting my friends asking them where I am. I haven't told any of my friends that I'm sleeping in my car, so I got very confused texts from friends asking me what's going on and why my parents are asking where I am and if I'm safe and okay. I told my closest friend that I left home and that I'm safe and let her know to tell my parents that I'm fine, but I have no desire to speak to them anymore. They've been begging my friend to disclose my location and asking her to ask me to allow them to speak to me. I went to my friends yesterday and she told me that what I did was awful and that I should speak to them. I told her that they threatened to make me homeless, so I left by my own volition, but she's insisting that making them worry about my safety is a horrible thing to do, but I honestly think I just gave them what they asked for. They wanted to get rid of me, so I left. Am I an idiot for leaving and refusing to communicate with them? Edit. My mom was there when this happened and she was on my dad's side as well, so she's aware of the incident and knows that I was threatened to be made homeless. They also said that I was most likely never going to get a job and was going to stay at home forever, even though I have 2 jobs RN. Internship is unpaid though, and I'm actively looking for a full-time job, and yes, they've done this before. Update. A week after my first post, I ended up moving in with a friend who was kind enough to let me stay and pay a very small amount in rent in return. I also ended up talking to my parents, and my dad apologized for his behavior and promised to never make a threat like that again, which honestly came as a shock to me, but I'm glad things got resolved between us. I let them know that I am staying with a friend and paying a small amount in rent in the meantime, and that I am in the process of finding an apartment, and they suggested that I move back in with them for free until I find a job and a place, so I took their offer and moved back home and haven't had issues with them since moving back. I finished grad school and completed my internship, and 2 weeks ago I landed a full-time job in my field. I also found an apartment that's only a 5 minutes walk from my job. I start the job next week and I move into my new place 2 weeks from now. Not an idiot. I read your previous post and realize just how often Indian parents say this to their kids without actually meaning any of it. What they don't realize is that it affects the self-esteem of children heavily. It's such a toxic dynamic that has been so normalized that they don't even realize that they're saying something so detrimental to their child's mental health. Not an idiot. It's great when someone's cruelty bites them in the butt and they have to face the consequences of their actions and cruelty. You did a great job sticking up for yourself, and hopefully your parents will keep being better. Super proud of you for graduating, getting an amazing job, and moving to a new apartment.